Hola a todos. Good afternoon. This is Abelardo de la Peña Jr., Marketing Director and Communications Director at the same time with La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. Welcoming you to today's En Casa con La Plaza session. Okay, I need to click a button here that I didn't do before, so it'll start the webinar all over again. Here goes. Buenas tardes a todos. Good afternoon. This is Abelardo de la Peña Jr., Director of Marketing and Communications with La Plaza de Cultura y Artes, welcoming all of you to En Casa con La Plaza Cocina. Every Monday, as you know, we take a tour of the best of Mexican cuisine with some of the finest chefs, cooks, restaurant owners, caterers, historians, people that know la comida, the best comida in the world, la comida mexicana. So if you're on Facebook, please use the comment section to let us know where you're viewing from. If you have questions to ask or if you have comments, please share them with us on the comment section on Facebook. Those of you who are on Zoom, welcome to the show. Please use the chat section to let us know where you're viewing from. We also have the Q&A. We may take questions during, before, or after the conversation, but please ask those questions, make those comments, let us know where you're viewing from as well. Start a watch party if you're on Facebook. Share the joy. It's all about having fun today, and we're gonna have some fun. And to get the fun rolling, we have with us, as we do every Monday, the director, La Plaza's Director of Programs and Culinary Arts, Jimena Martin. Please join us, Jimena.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Abelardo, for the introduction. Thank you. We have I love California cuisine. And LA starts here as one of my favorite sections of California history. As you guys know, in the 1820s to 1848, Treaty Hidalgo, California was Mexico. And with those traditions, we have Spanish, we have Mexican, and what it is present-day California. So with that said, Daniel Salcido has been cooking a little bit of California cuisine, but a little bit about Daniel, born in Los Angeles to first-generation Mexican immigrants. He is a graduate of the Cordon Bleu School in Pasadena. He's worked for several chefs around here in Los Angeles and in Pasadena, most notably Chef Hugo Molina, the Spanish Kitchen in Beverly Hills. In 2005, he also headed and opened the restaurant Flight in Whittier, a Spanish stop as a restaurant, but also had a Portsmouth, which is a Mexican seafood and oyster bar restaurant in Whittier. Recently he's working with other folks and also working on his techniques and really following his passion of California cuisine. Recently he started up Salcizzle and is cooking and working on techniques and the grill and bringing those traditions to today. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to Daniel Salcido, who will be doing shrimp enchiladas in cream sauce. Hola.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están todos? Hi, Jimena. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored. I'm honored. I'm deeply honored. Thank you so much, Jimena.
So tell us a bit more of your journey. How did you get inspired? When did you go to that culinary school? Who inspired you at home? Tell us more about that.
Oh my gosh, that's going way back. It's going way back. But my mom and my grandma, first, like I think like so many chefs, I think, right? They have their moms and grandmas are great chefs, but no, they were wonderful. Especially my grandma, especially. She the way she her passion that she put into her cooking is something that I really admired from her deeply. So from there, I was in my early 20s and I was looking into different culinary schools in the LA area. And at the time, Le Cordon Bleu was just starting up in Pasadena. So I just, well, I think it was a California Culinary Arts before originally, but they switched over owners. But yeah, I was there for a year and worked in different places. At one point I was with Yahaira's Cafe in Pasadena, not far from the culinary school there, with Armando and Abel Ramirez, some Yucatan cuisine. And then eventually worked for Hugo Molina in Beverly Hills. It's no longer there, but that was a while back. But Hugo, I'm still in contact with Hugo and his wife Alicia, wonderful people. Wonderful, wonderful people.
And what got you inspired into California cuisine, Alta California cuisine?
I was always curious. I mean, I always loved the whole. I think it's kind of romantic. The whole, working with wood and the smell of fire, the smell of that. I was always kind of romanticizing about that. And then to know that, to do my research. I mean, you know, um, about Pio Pico and all those, California rancheros back in the day. And locally here, I'm in San Gabriel Valley. Here we have the temples and the Rollins and all that right here. So I live close by to that. So just seeing that and reading about the history, the rich history, and of course a few books. I picked up some books. Um, and actually, one time I was at the Los Angeles Public Library in downtown, and it was a beautiful display of different books and different things, which I had no idea. David Stahl actually worked closely with Victor Valle, whom I met, and they made a few books together. So it was, which I know you've read some.
Yes, we have here Encarnaciones Kitchen, originally like over 1,000 recipes, and these two gentlemen, Dan Stahl, kind of cut it down to about, I think, about 300. And she's super interesting because I have it here in 1898. She wrote this book in Spanish. So she kind of wrote, kind of like documented the California cuisine from memory of her childhood because she had the last leg of it, but going back to her family members to talk about and kind of captured those recipes here in this book because during at the time of California, after 1848, again, opened many different communities came in from the East Coast as well from Latin America and from Europe. And it was this kind of new mixture of flavors and identities. And she tried to capture that true California identity through these cuisines. And also at the time, by recapturing that, is they're being lost because of also somewhat of gentrification that was happening in California at the time with all these different influences. Again, keeping true to her language and to her traditions through Mexican and Spanish cuisine, which we'll have a little bit today with your style of cooking.
Yes, yes. So if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and get started.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jimena, for that introduction. But right here I have, first of all, I'm outside because I have a little grill going on. If you don't mind the camera movement, but I have a grill in an outdoor oven. And so I'll be going back and forth. But to start off, I want to start off with the sauce for the enchiladas. Put this up a little bit. So it's a little bit of olive oil and butter. And this is a little bit of mirepoix, we call mirepoix, which is carrots, onions, and celery. And I like to layer my seasonings, a little bit of salt and pepper to get going.
While you're getting that seasoned up, we have saludos from Lorena Alonso. She says hello. And then everybody, let's see, we have Jaime Navarro from Santa Fe, New Mexico saying hello. Also greetings from South Pasadena, Tongvaland, Jessica Budin from San Antonio, Texas. So a lot of hellos. We also have Dorothy Medrano from Harbor City.
Hola, Dorothy. Hola, familia. Those are all a lot of them were my families and cousins, actually.
That's awesome. What did you splash in there with the mirepoix?
So what I've done there is a little bit of chile morita that I pre-toasted and I ground up. I like to use I have a spice grinder, or you can use a otherwise known as a coffee grinder. So I use one just for my spices, and you can easily substitute that. If you can't find chile morita, chipotle, either the dry variety or the one in latas in cans, you can use that as well. So I got that going, and then just to show you my little things here.
What kind of oil did you use to toss those?
Olive oil. I put half and half, half olive oil, half butter. Just give a little more richness to our sauce. And also, I wanted to talk about before we get started. Also, is the stock. I made a shrimp stock. So the shrimps I actually used. Let me switch that over. I actually used a heads-on and with the shells. I took up the heads and the shells, cleaned up the shrimp, and then I just marinate. I pre-marinated those already. It's a little bit of olive oil, garlic, dry chilies, a little bit of dry cilantro, and paprika.
Can you tell us, for those who have the shells and the heads, can you tell us más o menos how to make the shrimp stock from beginning to end? Because it's nicer than, getting out of a can or out of a box. Can you walk us through just a little bit how you made your own shrimp stock?
Sure, of course. I'll talk about it as I show you. I deglaze it with a little bit of white wine. So let that cook out a little bit, and then I'm gonna add the stock to that. But the stock, what I did is I took out the heads and shells, clean them up a little bit, just kind of rinse them off a little bit, cold water, dry them off a little bit, because what I do is I like to put it in a pot, sauce pot, and then a little bit of olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan, and then I add the shells and heads, cook them out for about 3 minutes, and then I deglazed it with beer. I like to use a little bit of Pacifico, or like a Mexican lager. Goes really, any sort of Mexican lager goes really well with that. And then right now I'm gonna add the stock. And I let that go high a little bit, get that going. But let me switch over. And then what I did is, as soon as I deglazed it, I let that cook out a little bit for about 4 or 5 minutes. And then I added cold water. And then bring that to a boil. And then you're gonna get a lot of the impurities, like the scum, goes to the top, just kind of, with the ladle, just kind of take that off carefully. And then just, once I did that, I added more mirepoix, bay leaves, peppercorns, thyme, and I think that was basically it. And then just let that go for about an hour, bring that again to a boil, and then simmer for about an hour.
Very nice, very nice.
Thanks, Amanda. Yeah, and then once that's done, just strain, and then you have your stock. Yeah, and I really recommend it because everyone buys that stuff you buy from the store, the enchilada sauce, and that stuff is just I know. That way, I think I really recommend it because every bite will have that shrimp flavor. It's gonna really give off that shrimp flavor that you want to give off. And you can use, if you want to use shrimp, you can substitute crab or lobster if you like as well.
That's really nice for the base of any soup. Like for Thanksgiving, instead of the turkey, since it was just mom and dad, I made cioppino. So I use all the shellfish and just let it glaze. And it's such a difference when now that we have time that we're at home to really take the time out and make stock from scratch. Even with chicken, you have a roasted chicken carcass, save it, and with onions, carrots, and celery, and water, and some herbs, let that simmer down, and you have great chicken soup stock for future cooking for anything you're making up. Real quick, we have some saludos from Chris Driscoll as well. So proud of you, chef, viewing from Laguna. DG is viewing from Del Rey, California. So you have some fans watching.
Oh, thanks, Jimena. Thanks. Yeah, Chris, I know Chris for a long time. He's a good guy, great guy. He's out of Whittier. So when I was there for a while.
And we also have saludos from Sonia and Armando in Whittier.
Hi, saludos, hola.
So how's that sauce going?
Good. Let me just show you a little bit. It's going right now. So I'm gonna let that reduce a little bit. As it's reducing, I'm gonna add the, this is the crema. And while that's going, if I can keep that going as reducing that, I will get the shrimp going as well. Excuse me, my camera movement. Hope everyone's doing okay.
What kind of wood are you using today?
This one for grilling, I love to use the almond, and I actually source that locally out of Woodshed in Sea of Orange. And for grilling, I love almond. It gives off a little bit of that nuggy flavor that you would get from almond wood, and it doesn't give too much smoke. Because I've tried different woods like mesquite, I've tried white oak, and it's just so smoky. And for this, is this what I really like is this almond wood.
What kind of shrimp are you using today?
It's a 3440. I sourced them from and then I actually I use that I sourced that from a local Asian market actually, because they have great variety of shrimp and different seafoods out there. That's going. And while that's cooking, I can also start the, excuse me. Okay. And also, sorry about my neighbor. My neighbor was asking me a question there for a little bit. But I have, so over here, I have the oil for to slightly cook off the tortillas. And I like to get that right around 300, so it's ready to go.
Daniel, we have a question from folks. If you don't have fresh shrimp, if you're available, is frozen shrimp okay?
Yes, absolutely. That's what pretty much all shrimp is frozen that we get here in California. So that one is definitely yeah. Everything's pretty much frozen. Yeah, and as far as what I understand is they actually freeze it on the shrimp boats. Those are actually frozen on the shrimp boats. So they so yeah.
You know, you said about I asked you about the shrimp and the size at 3140. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell folks what that means when people buy their bags and it says 3140 on there?
Sure. 3140 is the weight of the shrimp. How many shrimps does it take to make 1 pound of shrimp? So the larger the number, the smaller the shrimp are. So once you have like your 16 to 20 shrimps to get into 1 pound, there's like U15s or different like that. But yeah, so the smaller the number, the larger the shrimp.
That's good to know.
So I'm gonna try to set it up so I can show you how I fan the tortillas. So I need 2 hands for this. So it's reached 300. I drip a little bit, and then with a dry tortilla, just the same thing on the other side. It's a little something I picked up from Chef Hugo in Spanish Kitchen.
Now, what is the reason of dipping the tortillas in oil first versus just going with the sauce directly?
It just makes the enchiladas, they need to have that par cooked flavor. It needs to make it more bendable. You can usually more pliable. If I was to put it raw and try to roll it, you couldn't do that. So this is going to make it so like it can roll easily. But good question. Give him a minute. Good question. Okay, and let me go back to the shrimp. It's almost done. Oops, sorry, a little much too cooked a little bit on the one side.
So how long, if we don't have a barbecue at home, if we do the stovetop, how long would it take to cook on the stovetop? And also, how much time was it on the barbecue as we speak right now?
Ooh, it was close to about 10 minutes, I would say. It's been about 10 minutes now. So about the same. If you don't have a barbecue, you know, like a grill or gas grill, or you can do it on a saute pan. You can saute with a little bit of olive oil, butter, or even a cast iron. Definitely get a nice cast iron like this, you know. Just saute that stove top, maybe even throw it in the oven if you like. But the idea is to definitely cook it all the way through, because for this dish, you want to cook this all the way through before you get to the next step.
Yeah, we have, is it Elika Diaz is asking, is it recommended to grill for this recipe or can we pan fry?
Definitely, you can do either one, but I'm doing Alta California cuisine, so I like to bring back to its history of using woods and using cast irons. So that's why I choose, you know. And I think it does taste. I think it does taste a little bit better. I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even if you boil, you know, do some soup out on the river back in the day, the wood does add an extra layer of flavor to also the experience itself, being outdoors.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's nice. Even though today's a little overcast, but still it's much nicer. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and continue on. So it's reduced enough. So at this point, I'm just gonna blend everything here.
Daniel, we got Lola Dweck, who's been with us here at Plaza and Cocina. She says, I like the little grill for grilling the vegetables.
Oh yeah,
She's
absolutely.
a grill.
Just so you know, I did get that custom made out of redwood. Sorry, red beard, out of smokers in the city of Pasadena. He actually made that for me, customized it. I wanted to have be able to use an oven outside, so that's what he was able to do that for me. But he makes beautiful work. Actually, he also made my smoker. I smoke as well, but he made that for me as well. So
I know for a while you were doing like a farmer's market. Are you still able to do the farmer's market?
you know what? I wasn't able to do anymore. I just I got a little anxious with everything that's going on, so I had to step away from that for a little bit. But it was a artisans market in the city of Hollywood. So there we go. At this point, I'm gonna add some butter. Kind of just layer some butter in.
Now, are you using salted butter or sweet butter?
This one is actually just sweet butter, unsalted. It's really hot. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. And I forgot to bring my little tasting spoons, but so forgive me as I taste this with this spoon right here. Let's see here. So seasoning's perfect. Actually, I got lucky that I didn't have to add. So at this point, if I had to add more salt and pepper, that's why I would do it right now. But since it's ready to go, I think it's pretty well seasoned. So let me just switch this down a little bit. So here I have I'm gonna do three enchiladas. Oh no, I'm sorry about that.
This is live TV after all.
Yes.
It is live TV.
I try to hold it up a little on something. Sorry about that. But let me just show you what I'm doing. So I'm gonna put three shrimp to every tortilla. It's gonna be hot, so be very careful. A little bit of this cheese I use is Chihuahua, or you can use Monterey Jack. It works really well as well, or Oaxaqueño, queso Oaxaqueño. Just basically anything that's really melting. And I'm gonna put this down for a little bit because I need to use both hands for this. This part needs both hands.
Now you were serving these at the farmer's market, right?
Yes, yes. At the farm, I was doing lobster. So basically, it was the same exact technique, just a little bit more rich, you know, because it's lobster, so it's a little more richer. And as I'm pouring in the sauce, I want to make sure that it's all covered completely. And quesito. And for this one, I like to use a little bit of roasted green bell peppers, and that's a California chili right there, or Ortega, as they call it sometimes. This is going to go into my oven.
That's a fascinating oven. Can you make pizzas in there too?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I had one of my cooks, Casey, and his family. They had a pizza restaurant at one point in La Habra, and when they saw this, they were just like, wow, it's so cool. But yeah, absolutely, pizzas. You know, it would work great because of the wood would give off a little bit into the bread. Absolutely.
So at home, we don't have that amazing oven you have there. How long and what temperature should we have the dish in for the enchiladas in our oven?
Typically, I like to go at 350 for about 5 minutes. So just because I have other things going on, so it actually dropped down a little bit for a little more than I wanted it to. But it's at 250 right now, so it should be about 6 minutes. It should be done. And what I like to do is look at the cheese. The cheese will start melting, and that's when I know it's ready, when it's nicely melted. And that's basically it.
So we'll wait a little bit so we can see the final product at the end. But it's such a beautiful complement to our California cuisine in a sense that we have the ocean. So we have our beautiful shrimp, corn, chiles, brought in here, native here to California, and bringing in olive oil and butter and cheese brought in from the Spanish. So we have this nice mix that bring in the California cuisine identity of that combination of Mexican cuisine and Spanish cuisine. And I think that's what makes California so unique and special. And presenting it there in the classic dish of your enchiladas de camarones and salsa de crema.
Gracias. Gracias. Yeah, absolutely. And also, I would put in a little bit of the French technique as well. The crema. The crema is definitely French. Um, it's an old school, European way of cooking. I think, very that they brought in, and also, but I was trying to bring in more of the elements of the tongvas. What recently I was doing there, I was doing grilled salmon. I was grilling salmon on the same grill, and I was making them into tostadas. And I was using things like achote, native to the Native Americans, and yeah. So that's what I was always trying to bring something else in, and using the almond wood, I think too, almond and oak. So
Absolutely. I apologize. I forgot to bring in the indigenous voice, of course, here with the Tonga people here in California, in Los Angeles Basin. And maybe we could have done I'm dying to find someone who can do like an acorn, work with the acorn as well, because that's what was the majority of the diet. All those beautiful trees, and using the metate as the same way we have to break it down with corn and also with the acorn to get that meal to make the what's it called, like the patties or the unleavened bread with using the acorn. So my
yeah,
apologies for not acknowledging, but absolutely, absolutely.
yeah. I've never done. Have you done it before, Jimena?
We've been wanting to, because we start off our LA Starts Here exhibition with a Tongva voice here directly from Los Angeles. And we do have a metate from the Tongva community that they were so kind to let us borrow. So when we teach our kids about the beginnings and also the diet here in Los Angeles, but I haven't had an opportunity. We've been talking about it maybe in 2021 to kind of bring in those stories, some kind of culinary component, either a talk through La Cocina, and then bring in those the diet. We did have an Indian, is it a Native American talk, Nephi, when we did Ernesto Llerena's exhibition. We talked about nativeness, and he did a beautiful Pláticas y Prueba, talking about the different ingredients that are used with the land, also the sacredness of the materials, of the ingredients, what they mean with corn. So again, there'll be definitely a conversation to be had once we're back open to the public.
Beautiful. I can't wait to check that out.
So how are those enchiladas going?
So here, they're looking good. Let's see here.
While you're serving, we had some questions. Kenya and Leah is asking about shrimp sauce portion. No worries if you signed up via Zoom on our Facebook. The recipe will be available to be sent out. But it was a really super sweet, basic recipe with, was it onions, carrots, celery, butter, olive oil, and then splashed with homemade shrimp stock, simmered down quite a bit, and then at the end with a splash of cream. Oh, and the chile morita, no?
Yes, chile morita. Chile morita. Or you can use chipotle if you can't find morita. It's a little more difficult to find, but I think it's, you can use chipotle as well.
If you can push it up a little bit so we can see the cameras. Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Dania. Thank you so much for sharing this delicious California inspired almond wood baked enchilada dish with us.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Are you catering? Are you doing anything? How can we find you?
I am on Facebook and Instagram. You can direct message me there. I do caterings right now. I do small caterings. I have been smoking some lengua. I've been doing things like smoked barbacoa, smoked brisket, Texas style smoked brisket, but different things. If you're interested, I am going to be doing some this weekend, coming weekend. I will be doing some cooking this weekend, and for Christmas as well, if anyone's interested. And soon, hopefully soon, I'll be doing a food truck. So that's in the works.
Right. I remember that you mentioned about the food truck. One more time, can you be so kind to share your Instagram account with us again?
Sure. Salcizzle, SALCSIZZLE, and Alta California Grill. You can find that both on Facebook and Instagram. So just direct message me there, and I will be happy to, yeah, communicate with you.
We have one more question about the stock. We have our Sarah Portnoy asking if you don't have shrimp stock, and what kind of alternative stock can we use for the dish?
You can use chicken stock if you'd like. If you're gonna go with chicken stock, I would go with chicken, grilled chicken instead. Just because the shrimp stock goes really well with this dish. So yeah.
Well, Daniel, thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias for sharing your California-inspired dish. Can't wait once the farmers market opens up to go visit you and have some of those lobster enchiladas. Muchísimas gracias. Be safe. Happy holidays again. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jimena. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alberto.
Thank you so much. And we had some great comments here and a lot of saludos. Jimena mentioned a few of them. And Jaime Navarro says, I had them at the artist market. They were beyond delicious. I'm sure he's talking about your lobster enchiladas there. Snooky Guerrero, thank you. Looks great. And I know it's going to taste fabulous. And one word from Carmen Arredondo, yummy. So with that, we will be ending En Casa con la Plaza Cocina. But before we do, as Jimena knows, we have our staff meetings for La Plaza de Cultura y Artes every Monday morning. And some great news today from our CEO saying that construction has begun at La Plaza Cocina. As you may or may not know, La Plaza Cocina is a project which is from La Plaza de Cultura y Artes, located at La Plaza Village, which is right across the street from the Museum and Cultural Center on Spring Street. It's going to be a 2,500 square foot facility that's going to have hands-on teaching kitchen, an area for exhibits, and a lineup of programs with experts and guest speakers when it opens early summer 2021. And who's going to run this joint, Jimena?
I think I get the fun. I get to cook and work all the special things under one roof and still do the La Plaza program across the street with our films, our music series, our poetry. So we started a culinary program at La Plaza as pop-ups and been having lots of fun. But now with La Cocina opening up, we actually have a real teaching kitchen with all the big toys to make even more delicious food and to continue those conversation and teaching those traditions to our new generation of students and learning a lot. It's going to be all about Mexican cuisine. As you know, Mexico has 32 states. So each state is unique, a different type of cuisine, all different perspectives. We'll be working with folks in other culinary institutions over in Mexico and bringing those voices to Los Angeles and having hands-on cooking classes and practicas as well.
All right, well, we're all looking forward to that. And you can catch up with this information on our website at lapca.org, our Facebook page, which many of you are on. Thank you for joining us at La Plaza LA. And you could catch, if you didn't catch this entire program, we're recording it. We will be placing it on our YouTube page at La Plaza LA, along with all the other En Casa con La Plaza Cocina sessions that we've had over the past few months during the pandemic. Be safe out there. We'd like to thank our sponsors, PepsiCo, brand new sponsor, PepsiCo, along with SoCal Gas and California Humanities. Upcoming programs, you can catch them on our website at lapca.org and also on our Facebook page. Tonight, this is a double header we're having. Right now, we're finishing up this session, but tonight it's a great one with called Preserving Our City's History Through Our Streets. It's with Daryl Holter from USC, William Estrada, the curator and chair of the history department at the Natural History Museum of LA, Betty Ulleda, collections manager for Natural History Museum, and also John Echeveste, the CEO of La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. It's at 7 o'clock, and it's going to focus on the work of Governor Jose Figueroa, a general and the Mexican territorial governor of Alta California, who devised a plan to secularize the missions in 1830. And also, as you know, immortalized with the Los Angeles street named in his honor, Figueroa Street, from Wilmington, California, all the way up to Eagle Rock. And they're talking about renaming a portion of Figueroa Street, but I think we have a different idea than that. and you'll be able to catch in on that discussion tonight at 7 p.m. here on En Casa con la Plaza. Next Monday, a special En Casa con la Plaza Cocina, the history of masa with our good friend Maite Gomez Rejon from Art Bites. And she'll be talking about the history of maize and coming up with a couple great recipes for memelas with black beans and queso fresco along with champurrado. So a lot of great eating. And the big regret here is that we can't taste those shrimp enchiladas, but soon, hopefully we will. Daniel, thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much, Jimena. Muchas gracias a todos, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.